From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this cold, dreary, soggy Monday night. We have such an important topic to talk with you all about tonight. We're talking about the fires in Gatlinburg and how you can help. Many of us have sat here in Middle Tennessee and just felt helpless as we see this awful video play across our TV screens and hear the stories of everything that's been lost. Tonight, we're going to change that and talk about how to help these people, how to help the area. And I have a wonderful lady who's going to make it all happen and explain about how the best way to do that is. Ellen Lehman from the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, the president of it and the founder of it, I just learned 25 years ago. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And tell me your motto in life with this foundation. I love this.
My goal through the Community Foundation is to make sure people feel good about what they're doing, not bad about what they aren't doing. So I want to keep people from saying, I'm sorry, I only have $5 to give for this particular cause, or I only have $10 to give to this particular cause. What I want people to feel good, I want people to feel good about this, and I want them to say, oh, here, I have $5 to give to this cause. It's really important because out of the gifts of many,
yes,
we can all do more. For sure. And it is incredibly important. Those gifts, even though people think they may be small, when your $5 and my $10 and somebody else's $25 come together, it's an incredibly powerful thing.
I've done many a telethon in my career, and we always say it doesn't matter how much you give, just give. And it's not a cliche. It really does, combined, make a difference. And you were giving me the numbers right before we went on air tonight about how much has been raised between News Channel 5, the Community Foundation, all the gifts pouring in. You have the online number so far.
This is the online numbers. And do you want me to give them now?
Please, because they're so great.
Because they're going to be different.
Sure.
In 2 seconds.
Yes.
Okay, so as of 6:45 tonight, we had brought in 2,696 gifts. And the total online, this is just online, is $292,107.49.
Almost $300,000 just in online giving.
Yes, and the average size of the gift has been far larger than we ever expected. I mean, it's really been an incredible outpouring of people who understand that East Tennessee and everybody else helped us during our flood, and this is a great opportunity to help our neighbors to the east who've just had this devastating set of fires.
This is a huge gift, and I want to dive into how you guys plan to use it and how to distribute it in just a little bit, but I want to take a few steps back. Tell me what the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee is. How do you guys operate? What's the story?
Okay, this is very glamorous, but we are a gigantic wall of charitable cubbyholes.
Okay.
And each cubbyhole can have its own name and its own charitable purpose. So what I love about my job, many things actually, one of the things I love most about my job is that I don't usually have to go to someone and say, please give us money for our vision. You have money, we have a vision, please give your money to accomplish our vision. What I say is, what's your vision? Oh. What do you think is going to make the 40 counties of Middle Tennessee or beyond better? What do you think is going to improve the quality of life that we all enjoy? And it's the bedrock of why we want to live here. So I get to hear about stories about I was helped through college because I got a scholarship and I'd love to start a scholarship. Or my parents came from Giles County and I would like to set up a fund to help benefit Giles County for the foreseeable future. There is no shortage of the kinds of things that we can help people do if they have good hearts, whether or not they have big money.
You don't have to be rich to do this.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And why wouldn't I, let's say if I come from Giles County and I want to just go, you know, and help a specific organization there or want to set up a scholarship at the high school, why wouldn't I just go there and do it?
Well, there are a couple reasons. One is that if you're doing it in memory of someone or in honor of someone, it's nice to have their name attached to it. And it's nice to make sure we specialize in funds that go on forever. Called endowment funds, which usually makes people's eyes glaze over.
Right, you think, oh, okay, what does that mean? Yeah.
But we are mostly a charitable savings account where the money comes in, it's invested, and then all the money that leaves that fund is used for that charitable purpose based on what donors have told us they want to have happen.
It sounds like you guys do an amazing amount of behind-the-scenes work of making things happen that are wonderful.
Well, we do a lot of behind-the-scenes work. I think last year, I think it was, we did 194,000 transactions
Oh my goodness.
in 1 year. So we are doing a lot of work, but it is a labor of love.
I would say so. I would say so. When it comes to the wildfires in Gatlinburg,
Yes.
where's all this money that we're talking about? It's already 300,000 just in online gifts, almost 300,000. How is that money going to be distributed? Because when people give, they want to know it's going to the right place.
Right. One of the challenges of a disaster and our own flood, I think our first disaster that we worked on was in 1993, but our flood was certainly the biggest one. And had anyone asked me the first week what that money would be used for, I would not have known how to answer them. These disasters unfold in waves, and they last a long time. So what we don't want to have happen is we don't want to spend the money on things on the first day. We want to, in the first wave, generally, we and the people in Gatlinburg, and the people in Gatlinburg are, going to focus on food and clothing and shelter and health and making sure there are no more bodies.
Sure.
After that stage, people will be worried about things, particularly in the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge region, which is they have no job to go to anymore.
Because their place of employment probably burned.
Right. And so how can they envision a life for themselves in that area without knowing where their income is going to come from? Very traumatic. I think the next thing that's going to happen probably is that the confusion and the terror that they have experienced is really going to come back to haunt them. Probably not the right word. And they are really going to need counseling, and they are really going to need help getting past the trauma that they've been through.
This is a life-changing moment for so many.
It's a life-changing moment for those of us who are watching it on TV. And then I think Mother Nature's going to step in again, and because the trees are gone and the foliage is gone, people are going to be experiencing landslides and mudslides, and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
So you guys are saying we're going to take this bucket of money that people have given so faithfully, and we are going to make it last and put it where it's needed as time goes by. Right, because the needs of this community will emerge and evolve over time. Dolly Parton has stepped up with a great gift, and she is, I'm sure, going to be helped by lots of other people. I know in our particular flood, 67% of the money that came in to help our recovery came because of what the music industry did. That's amazing, 67%. Yes. Wow. Yes, and a huge proportion of that, 1/3 of the money that we received came from the magnificent Garth Brooks concerts and from Garth himself. He stepped up and made sure that this community could recover. And we owe him a tremendous debt of gratitude. Most certainly do. Most certainly do. I want to give you folks at home a picture of what is happening in Gatlinburg. We talked with a couple today, Jonquil Newland, one of our reporters did, who watched their home burn down via webcam. They had the chance to go back into the city this weekend, and she caught up with them today to get a fresh perspective on how they're feeling and what they saw.
1 week after wildfires killed more than a dozen, destroyed some 1,500 homes and businesses, and decimated thousands of acres of forest, Chris Allen is back at home after surveying the damage himself.
It was an emotional day, seeing Gatlinburg the way it was.
He and his wife Sarah headed east the day the city opened to property owners.
We were sort of hoping maybe we were wrong, that there would be something left.
On Monday night, they watched from hundreds of miles away as security cameras captured the fire engulf one of their 2 homes.
I think what if we had been there? I hear the stories about people barely escaping with their lives.
See those embers blown around.
Stories like his neighbors, who credits a phone call from Chris, who was watching his home burn, for sounding the alarm.
He said that the phone call that he received from me 300 miles away was his only warning to get out of Gatlinburg. Is that one of our chairs?
On their way back to Gatlinburg, the Allens hoped for the best, but prepared for the worst.
As we went around the corner, my wife looked at me and she said, "Oh my gosh, there's nothing
Allen captured these videos at their 2 properties. The fire consumed both of them and left nothing but the foundation behind.
The wind fanned those flames, and it just pretty much cleaned up after itself. There wasn't even that much ash. One cabin on the entire mountain survived, and it's that one right there below us.
While assessing the damage, he noticed how the fire seemed to skip from one house to the next, as if to pick and choose its victims.
And all these cabins are gone. You would have a house that was completely untouched, and then you have a house right next to it that was burned to the ground.
The video just really unbelievable. And tonight we are focusing on the people of Gatlinburg, the people of Sevier County who live there, who work there, who need help right now. Ellen here from the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee will be answering your questions about where the money raised is going. If you want to call in during the commercial break, we will take those questions tonight. If you have been to Gatlinburg and the Pigeon Forge area just over the last weekend when things reopened and want to call in and give us an update about what you saw, you can do that as well. We'll be coming right back with more Open Line.